All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Bobby Schrader. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at Boston Conservatory at Berklee, and I'm the dance representative in the admissions office. We so appreciate you being here today. I just wanted to start off with some housekeeping items before we begin our dance division information session. First of all, this event is being recorded, and if you have any questions at any point throughout today's event, please feel free to use the Q&A function and we'll get to those questions at the end of the presentation. And if you would like, please feel free to scan this QR code. It will open up our view book for you. So it's great to follow along, see some great pictures of our students and information about the conservatory. We'll also put you into our system so that you'll get updates from us on a periodic basis. Also share this in the chat while we begin our presentation today. All right, and I'm so excited to be joined today by my colleagues here at the Conservatory. First, we have Cathy Young, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of Boston Conservatory at Berklee. We have Tommy Neblett, our Dean of Dance at Boston Conservatory. We also have Adia Hollist, a senior in our BFA Contemporary Dance Performance program, and Adrian Ruiz, a sophomore in our BFA Contemporary Dance Performance program. All right, Cathy, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bobby. And greetings to everyone who's joining us. Welcome. As Bobby said, my name is Cathy Young. I am the Executive Director of the Conservatory. I've been in that role for 4 years. Prior to that, I was the Dean of the Dance Division. So it's especially fun for me to be here with all of you prospective Dance Division students today and to talk about the Conservatory a little bit with all of you. I do want to say at the outset, this is a really exciting moment as you are in this process of determining where you want to spend the next 4 years. And so our goal today is to just give you as much insight about the conservatory experience as we can. Let me just start out with some fun stats about the conservatory that you may or may not know. First of all, we are the oldest performing arts conservatory in the United States. We're 154 years old. We have 3 divisions. So we have our dance division, and then we also have a theater division that has degrees in musical theater and contemporary theater, and a music division. We also run undergraduate and graduate programs. Our total student population at the conservatory is about 850 students. So I think most of you know the conservatory merged with Berklee College of Music 5 years ago, and Berklee has about 4,000 students at the Boston campus. So the conservatory is kind of like a school within a school. When you come to the conservatory, you're getting an intimate small school experience with all the benefits of being in a larger university. Just a couple other sort of fun stats about the conservatory. We had the first opera department in the country, the first conservatory music education program, and the first undergrad musical theater degree. And this merger that we made with Berklee College of Music is actually the first merger of 2 performing arts colleges in the country. And so now we're really the most comprehensive training ground for performing arts in the world. The conservatory, and I think you probably know this, but I can't help sharing it. It's kind of the best part of my job is to brag about our school a little bit. We are widely considered the top contemporary dance program in the country. Woohoo! And you're applying to that program. We're also considered a top 10 school for choreography in the United States. We're one of the 10 best music conservatories in the country. We're considered the best undergraduate theater program, and Playbill calls us one of the top 10 most represented schools on Broadway. So there's a lot of excellence here. And that's one of, I think, the most exciting things about coming here is that your peers are all wonderful at what they do, just like you are. So there's a lot of inspiration from being in that group of students. Our goal and what we're really aiming to do here is to give you a transformative, contemporary performing arts education that unleashes your potential and empowers you with the skills and the self-awareness and the courage to leave here and to shape your world, and also to shape your own future. And the most important thing I would say is that at the conservatory, we really are a family. We know each other well. We take care of each other, we care about each other, and our whole goal is to nurture you. So thank you so much for joining us today. You're going to have a fantastic session with our dance division dean and 2 of our students. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions, and just welcome to the conservatory. And I'm going to jump off now. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thanks, Cathy. And I am now going to share my screen and show you a video of our dance division.
There is no other place like this.
The feeling of continuous creation here is so inspiring.
All these diverse moving bodies, all shapes, all sizes, all colors, it really reflects the world that we live in.
Part of what makes the Boston Conservatory such a special place is that we really care about every single individual.
The relationship between faculty members and us students, it's very much a partnership.
There are so many amazing teachers here. They pay attention to me and my personal style.
I love seeing the students' tenacity to fight to understand how they move and how can I use it as a way to speak my truth.
You have to believe in yourself and what you have to offer.
There's so many artists in the world, and like you really want to be unique and you want to be your own.
The beauty of it is watching them start in one place, fight through it, figure it out, challenge themselves, fall down, get back up, come back in the next day, and by the end, they leave completely changed. It could be something as small as I realize that it's okay for me to fail. It's okay for me to fail. That's when you have the most choices available to you. And to me, that is beauty. And to me, that is power.
We're not afraid to change. And we're not afraid to change the outdated norms of what dance is and who can do it.
The dance field is proliferating right now. There is so much happening in dance. Choreographers and directors are often asking dancers to be able to accomplish many things.
When I came in, I would characterize myself as stiff, figuratively, and maybe literally. Going to the conservatory helped me widen my view of dance and what dance is, what movement is.
We are focused on modern dance and ballet, but we also offer hip-hop and African, improvisation, jazz, musical theater.
The curriculum is so diverse and we have so many more options. And being able to take Berklee courses as well as the Boston Conservatory courses has allowed me to kind of choose what I want to do.
We have some of the most cutting-edge, sought-after choreographers, leaders of the field, coming to make work on our students. After they graduate, a lot of the students find jobs with these choreographers.
I think I gathered all the resources and tools that I need to be out in the world, and I'm very excited to use them.
Having a degree from the Boston Conservatory puts you in the upper echelon of young art makers who aren't afraid to take the world by storm.
We are working really hard here, and we're also having fun and supporting each other.
I honestly feel like the conservatory is genuinely a family environment.
I will be able to build those friendships forever.
Not only do you get the incredible technical training, you get it in an environment that is completely nurturing, completely open, helping you develop your artistry, your individual voice, and also celebrates you while you do it. And there's no other place like that.
All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Tommy Neblett, our Dean of Dance. Take it away, Tommy.
Thanks so much, Bobby. And good morning, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. I'd like to start off this session with an overview of the division. And then I will show you some videos of works that we have done. So let me share my screen. And Great. So we are the dance division. Like Bobby said, my name is Tommy Neblett. I'm the dean. Myla Thigpen is the chair of the division. We have approximately 130 dance majors, 25 dance minors. We also run a program of dance courses for the college and college dancers. So we have over 100 college musicians that take dance classes. We have 13 full-time faculty, 23 part-time, and 26 accompanists. We are very committed to having live music in all of our ballet and modern technique classes. It's very important that we are not using recorded music and that the students get the experience of having live accompanists in their classes. A little bit about the division. It was started in 1943 by Jan Veen. He was a German immigrant who studied with the early dance pioneers Rudolf Laban and Mary Wigman. And we were the first college dance program to offer equal training in both ballet and modern dance. And if you think about that, modern dance is a very new art form in 1943. Modern dance started in the 1920s by Isadora Duncan. And so in 1943, it was only about 20 years old. And to have that as an equal training ground for ballet was revolutionary at that time. There have been 5 leaders of the division since. Ruth Ambrose, Yasuko Tokunaga, Cathy Young, who you just met, and myself. This is my 4th year as being dean. I've actually been at the conservatory for 25 years as a faculty member, and then 7 years as chair of the division, and now my 4th year as the dean. Accolades. I think the most important one on this list is that we were just recently, a couple months ago, ranked number 2 in the country by College Magazine behind Juilliard. So that is quite an impressive honor to have, and I'm thankful and I'm humbled, and it's amazing that we have this kind of program that is recognized across the country and in the world. We're also known as one of the top 10 for dance programs for choreographers, and generally one of the top 10 in the United States. Our alumni have danced in major companies all over the world. And this is just a few of the places that they have gone and where they are now. As you can see, Netherlands Dance Theater 2, Alvin Ailey, Hubbard Street, Les Ballets Jazz de Montreal, Complexions, Dance City of Harlem, Camille A. Brown, Bill T. Jones, the Metropolitan Opera Ballet, Martha Graham, Jose Limon, Paul Taylor. Our dancers also have gone on to Broadway, and right now, we all know that Broadway is shut at the moment, but one of our alumni, Ebony Williams, who I'll talk about a little bit later, is currently in Jagged Little Pill. And then we have a couple of dancers that have gone on to Cirque du Soleil, perform in Cirque du Soleil, and on several award shows, including the Grammys and the Tonys. So we offer a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Contemporary Dance Performance. We really do train our students to be world-class performers. That is our emphasis, and our core curriculum is ballet and modern. Within that degree program, students have the ability to select an emphasis in something that they are want to focus on, and that can be ballet, modern, jazz dance, pedagogy, or dance composition. So everyone takes ballet and modern, but then if you say you want to be a jazz dance emphasis, you would take a few more jazz classes as your electives, or the same with pedagogy. If you're interested in teaching, you would take your electives would be in pedagogy. And there are 2 proposed emphases that should be up and running in the next couple of years, one in dance and technology and one in dance history. Emphases are not required, but they're strongly suggested, and most of the students do declare an emphasis within their BFA degree. And I just want to also say all of these slides that you're seeing, all these pictures, these are performance shots from the past 4 years that we have done. And this is from the Metallica project, and the one before was from Bradley Shelver's Tongues. So the BCB method is a pedagogical system that is conservatory-wide. And in year one, it's all about immersion. So you eat, breathe, sleep, and live dance your entire first year. Is in your second year as a sophomore, it's all about deconstruction. And it's taking what you know and what you've been taught and deconstructing that and looking at it from a different way and trying to find new ideas and new ways of approaching your artistry. In year three as a junior, it's all about integration. So we take everything you've learned in year one and year two and try to put it together in a special way that suits who you are as a unique artist. And in year four as a senior, it's all about identity. How do you want to portray yourself? Where do you want to go with your career? And how are you going to do that? And that's who you form your identity as an artist during your senior year. Like I said, ballet and modern are our core curriculum. But in addition to that, we have movement electives, a wide range of styles, including hip hop and salsa, swing dance, African dance, partnering skills, musical theater, repertory, ballet variations, both classical and contemporary, pedagogy, composition, and one particular class that I'd like to mention is Upside Down, and that is taught by Jun Kurabayashi, who is a 15-year veteran of Pilates, if you're familiar with that company, and that class is all about acrobatics and gymnastics and circus skills, and I think we're one of the only dance programs in the country that offers a course like that, and it's wildly popular. We offer it every semester, and it's fun and a thrilling course for the students. We also have within the division dance academics. So all students are required to take 4 liberal arts academics, and those are run out of the college liberal arts department, and they can be such a wide range of academics such as poetry, film studies, gay studies, art history, poetry, so forth and so on. And then in the division, we have our own set of academics, and every student needs to take 4 of those. And this is a list of some of those that we offer, including dance history, history of hip hop, history of dance on film and video, history of musical theater dance, the Black aesthetic in American modern dance, pop culture, dance and pop culture, music foundations, anatomy, and at the very bottom, you'll see professional seminar, and that's the business of dance. And all juniors in their second semester take part 1 of professional seminar, and then seniors in their first semester as a senior take part 2. And professional seminar is a course, it really is the business of dance. You learn how to put your resume together, put a reel together, how to promote yourself, how to brand yourself, taxes, grant writing, how to find apartments, how to read contracts, how to draw up contracts, how to write grants, how to incorporate a nonprofit organization, everything about the dance as a business that you will need to know when you go out into the world to become a professional. This photograph is also from the Metallica project. And so some curricular innovations that we are doing this year, and we started them last year, and we're continuing on with this year. And one of the main focus is to de-gender ballet. And what I mean by that is ballet has always been very gendered in this is the male role, this is the female role, and there's really no crossover between the two. So here at the conservatory in the dance division, we've decided that that's something that we would like to change. So all students, no matter their gender or their gender identity, will learn traditional male and female ballet variations. Anyone can take point, and we are trying to explore how ballet partnering can be degendered as well. We also offer modern partnering. It's a required course. In modern partnering, it's already degendered, and everyone does the same thing with each other. So women will partner men will partner men, women will partner women. And with ballet, we're on taking steps to make sure that happens in that curriculum as well. We're also adding courses that are required that are from the African diaspora, and that includes African dance, jazz dance, hip hop, urban styles, and salsa, which is new this year. It's not on this list, but salsa is also required now. And we have a few new dance academics this year particularly, and one is decolonizing ballet, which ties right into the degendering of ballet as well. Dance and socio-political activism, which is a course where you study famous works and choreographers who took who choreographed in response to what was going on in the world at that time. So example would be Kurt Jost's The Green Table. That piece was made as an anti-war statement after World War I. Or Bill T. Jones's Still Here, which was in response to the AIDS crisis. So there's many works over the years that have been in reaction to social and political upheaval in the world, and that course studies those in depth, why they did that and how they did that. Two new technology classes. One is a dance filmmaking workshop, which students learn the technical aspects of filmmaking and then how dance is used as the content of those films. So creating dance for a proscenium stage is very different than choreographing and creating dance for the camera, especially for a small screen camera. So that dance filmmaking workshop comes in very handy now, since we're remote and everything is in video and on film, of how to make professional looking dance films. And then the Dance and Technology Laboratory takes that a couple steps further with motion capture, sensory and artificial intelligence and augmented reality and different kinds of technology, and how dance can use those technologies to further the art form. And one of the most exciting new innovations we started last year's course called Professional Transition. And that allows seniors, either semester or both semesters, to sign up for this course if they have been offered a professional contract and a professional job. So let's say we had a student last year, his name was Emmett Cawley, and in August, he got a job with Netherlands Dance Theater 2 at the beginning of his senior year. So it used to be back in the day, way back in the day, where a student, if they got a job, would leave school and go and have their job, and then they may or may not ever come back and finish their degree. And I thought, well, that's not real fair. We're training them to get a job, so why not make that an easy possibility for them? So Emmett got this job with Netherlands Dance Theater 2 and signed up for the Professional Transition course, which allowed his professional experience with NDT to count for both semesters of his senior year. So he technically was still a student, but he was working in the Netherlands and still graduated on time. So that is a game changer for us, and I'm not sure any other college dance program has that program. Collaborations within the dance division, we've had several lately, and this is one of the two of the performance collaborations we've done in the past couple of years. One was called the Metallica Project, and that was in collaboration with the Berklee College of Music Global Jazz Ensemble, East Indian Ensemble, Balkan Vocal Ensemble, and the American Roots Music Ensemble. And they took Metallica songs and reinvented them and transposed them and transcribed them into these different styles. And then Otis Salid choreographed this 20-minute piece with this Metallica music and these ensembles from the conservatory. This is quite thrilling. We also did a collaboration with a college called A Rose Out of Concrete with Nona Hendricks and the Electronic Production and Design Department. As a course, as a course, junior composition partners or collaborates with a course at the college called Writing New Music for Dance. So the junior choreographers pair up with a composer from the college, and they create a work simultaneously where the composer and the choreographer work close together, and they create the choreography and the music into a finished piece. And that's usually in spring semester that class happens. And like I said, the dance filmmaking workshop, we collaborate with the Emerson College Film Department, where their film students and our dancers collaborate on dance films. We have some partnerships within the division. One of them is the Royal Academy of Dance in London, where you can get your teacher certification. And that is very important and very useful to have if you want to teach internationally. It's not that important in the United States, but all over the world. If you have a teacher certification from the Royal Academy of Dance, it opens doors for teaching opportunities all over the world. And you do that in addition to your BFA program, and it's usually a couple of weeks every summer for 2 summers and some online classwork throughout the year. We also have an Alexander Technique Center at the school where you can get your teacher certification in Alexander Technique. We run a program on Saturday mornings called Step by Step for dance classes for youth on the autism spectrum and or with Down syndrome. And we have a partnership with the Elliott School, which is a elementary school in Boston, and our pedagogy students will go there and create movement and have a internship teaching elementary school children the foundations of dance and creative movement. In that professional seminar class that I mentioned that the seniors take for the business of dance, we partner with Wix, which allows them to develop their own website for free. It's an amazing opportunity for the seniors. And the dance division also sponsors every year the Racine's Black Dance Festival for a weekend. It's a 2-day weekend of classes and performances. We have the most diverse department in the school. Our Alana population, which if you're unfamiliar with the word Alana, that's African descent, Latin American descent, and Native American descent students. Our incoming class this fall was 55% Alana. In the entire division, it's almost 40%, and with our faculty, it's about 35%. Gender population, as we all know, there's many more women in dance than there are men, but we have a high ratio of men in the department. About a quarter of the students are male, and almost half of the faculty are male. Diversity isn't always, so there's also diversity of aesthetics. So when I bring in master classes and guest teachers, I try to think about the aesthetic of what they're going to teach and try to bring in things that we don't usually offer in the division. And last year, although it got cut short a little bit because of the pandemic, we had urban bush women come in to teach a class. Babatunji Johnson. Troy Ogilvie was supposed to come in and teach embodied movement. Marai Osanai was supposed to come in and teach Buto. Sekou McMiller with African dance, and Sonia Ola with flamenco, even though those last 4 didn't happen. I will keep them on the schedule for a future year. So last year, I just want to mention our performances. So our degree is contemporary performance, and the way you learn to perform is to perform. And we offer 5 main stage concerts a year, 1 in the fall and 4 in the spring. Our first concert in November is From the Ground Up, and I commissioned 4 or 5 emerging young choreographers to create works on the sophomore, junior, and senior classes. This concert is not, there's no audition for this concert, so all of the sophomores, juniors, and seniors perform in this concert. The freshmen do not perform in From the Ground Up, and that's not to be mean. That is a way to keep the freshmen focused on their first semester in the school and to not overwhelm them with rehearsals and performances when they first get to school. Our second concert is the Senior Choreography concert in January, and that's when all of the seniors that have chosen a choreographic emphasis will have their works fully produced on the main stage. Our third concert is in March, usually in March, and that's called Winter Works, and that consists of all of the first year students. They perform as a class, and I bring in 2 alumni from the division to choreograph pieces for them, and senior and junior student choreography is on that show as well. The fourth concert is Limitless, and this is sort of our biggest show of the year, and that's usually masterwork reconstructions. And last year, this was what the schedule was, even though this had to be canceled. But we had scheduled Murray Lewis's 4 Brubeck pieces, Gustavo Sansano's 18+1, Camille A. Brown's New Second Line, and Victor Quijada's Interwoven. It was going to be an amazing show, and I have retained them for next year, for next April. So I hope this is going to work out for next year's Limitless. And then the last concert is the senior class, and all year they work to put together a show. They curate that show, and this is their senior showcase performance, and we perform that both at the Alvin Ailey Theater in New York City, and then at the very end of the year at the Conservatory as a farewell to the senior class. I think the repertory that we do here in the dance division is one of the strong points of the program, and we get in some enormously famous A-list choreographers, including Azure Barton and Ohad Hareen, Mark Morris, Robert Battle, Doug Verone, and then we also are committed to doing reconstructions of the masterworks of the master early choreographers such as Paul Taylor, Jose Limon, Twyla Tharp, Bill T. Jones, and Merce Cunningham, among others. This is just a short list. And that photograph is actually a piece from Azure Barton did for us. We also have probably 20 extra performances a year besides the main stage, and these are non-curricular, and they a lot of these are collaborations with the college, and Convocation, which is the beginning of the year, opening day, the scholarship tea. We have our own Berklee Conservatory edition of Dancing with the Stars, where administrative personnel dance with dance faculty. It's a very fun show. We also have a Cirque du Soleil ensemble. So at the college, there's a music ensemble of Cirque du Soleil where they learn and create music for the circus. And we have dancers that perform with the ensemble in the spring. And then we always perform at the huge Berklee commencement concert in May. So there's plenty of opportunities beyond the main stage performances within the division throughout the year. Creativity is holds a special place in my heart because I was a choreographer for many, many years. And so we train generative artists as well as interpretive artists. And by generative, I mean they create works. So dance composition is required for freshmen, it is required for sophomores, and is an elective for juniors and seniors. Also very important, in my opinion, is our somatic and wellness programs. We have somatic courses such as gyrokinesis, floor bar, conditioning, Alexander technique. This keeps dancers healthy. And Dancers Toolkit is a freshman class where they learn physical, mental, and spiritual ways of staying healthy throughout their year. And we have a full-time physical therapy staff on campus that takes care of the dancers if need be. And lastly, this is one of my favorite quotes, and this is how I try to portray the dance division, is for the students to be humble with your talent and graceful with your success. And the great Quincy Jones said that. And if you don't know who Quincy Jones is, please look him up. He was an amazing, amazing artist and musician. So that's an overview of the dance division. And now I would like to ask Adrian to tell us a little bit about his experience at the conservatory, how he got into dance, why he chose the conservatory, and maybe one of the most memorable events of his time so far.
Hi everyone, I'm Adrian. I'm currently a sophomore, BFA in contemporary dance. I started when I was 10. I started with hip hop, and after that I started dipping my toes in all of the dance styles at my studio. I fell in love with everything. I think the hardest question you can ask a dancer is, what style is the one that you like the most? I don't know how to answer it. But starting my junior year, I heard that Boston Conservatory had summer intensives. I didn't get a chance to do the summer intensive, but one of my friends from my dance studio did their summer intensive, fell in love with the school and the program. So I knew that I wanted to audition for the school when it came time, my senior year. So I did, and it was amazing. It was my favorite audition that I auditioned. I auditioned for about 8 schools that year. It was best choice I made to pick this school. One of my favorite memories is probably Winterworks. Winterworks is the first time that a freshman or first years get to perform. We don't perform first semester, which I think a lot of people, when they hear about that, they get a little iffy, but trust me, it is a really great decision that this department made. It's very overwhelming. You have your first semester, but it's such a great experience to watch your older peers, the upperclassmen. You're getting a look at what the department is, how they dance, and you're also finding yourself a lot first semester. Then second semester, it is so fun to watch your peers, that your classmates, upperclassmen watching you for the first time. It was such a great experience, and I could relive it all over again if I could.
Great, thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. Adia, so how did you come into dance? Why did you pick the conservatory, and what are your most memorable experiences?
Hi everyone, I'm Adia. So I am from Florida, and I've been in Florida my whole life, and I started dancing in a community program called the Chocolate Nutcracker, and from there they do all different styles of dance, but it was something my mom just kind of put me into for, like, you know, the Nutcracker season, so that I was not like at home going crazy. Through there, I ended up doing that for the past 16 years and found a love for dance through there. I started training in ballet at 9 years old. Then I went to performing arts middle school, then went to performing arts high school, started getting introduced to modern and contemporary styles. I actually had 2 of my biggest mentors, Sabrock Warren and Marquise Floyd, who were alumni of Boston Conservatory, that were just like, Adia, this is the school for you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what you need to do, but like, I'm telling you, I know you, this is the school for you. So in my head, senior year, I was like, I'm auditioning for Boston Conservatory, or I'm not going to school, and I'm just gonna audition for companies or do a trainee program. So I only auditioned for one school. I'm not recommending this to everyone, but I'm just saying, like, from my experience, it was like Boston Conservatory or nothing. And thank goodness I got in, and it's ended up being one of the best choices of my life. You know, the gods were on my side, I guess, for this one, and like the stars were all aligned. But yeah, and going in, I would definitely agree. First semester is like everything is being thrown at you. You're training all day. Not to mention, like, a college student, you know, it's your first semester as a college student. You want to go out and do those things. You want to go see Berklee shows. You want to be a part of the community. So there's so much going on. You need that time to just like get used to being a college student. My best memory, oh, this is so hard for me to think of, because I have memories of like performance that are so high. And then I also have memories where I got to put my work on the stage, which is another complete different type of high. So I guess I'm gonna find a middle ground here. The last Winterworks performance, I actually got to perform in 2 pieces and produce a piece that was performed on Winterworks, which was like, that show for me was like probably one of the most euphoric feelings I've ever had, because not only did I get to like dance my heart out and do my peers' choreography on stage, but I also got the opportunity to see my work come to life on stage, which is, there's no better feeling, honestly. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Adia. Thank you. So now I'm going to show a clip of a piece that we did last November in From the Ground Up, and Adia is actually in this piece. This is by Bradley Shelver, and the name of it is Tongues. Let's see if, well, 1 second. Okay, that's not it. This is it. And we'll do this.
La ridum la ridum la ridari digi 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 diro la ridum la ridari digi 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 dum la ridum la ridari digi digi la passa la nuit digi digi dum des lo cammo tutte le digi la 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 ma il paternoster no visse sendiumi no visse senanado dumi melu così la 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 Callu no visse desavia parlano viene porta l'ulume la candela che trovi parlano viene la 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 cammina la finestra e canta lupo che dagli tu marito vesti come l'ora sa cittadino la 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 un tonello passa la nuit un indizio cambia tutte le siglie la ma era di nostra no visse sermi no visse sermi no tu mi me luci la candela che trovi parlano viene la 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 cammina la finestra e canta lo che casa di tu ma da vesti come lo lascia giù da leo la 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 Lo Money.
Yeah, incredible piece, incredible piece. Adia, you want to just briefly talk about the experience of being in that piece and the rehearsal process and performing, and how does that make you feel?
Oh, that, like, every single time I watch it, I'm getting like constant chills.
Oops, sorry, 1 second. I think I left my screen share on. Sorry. Is that me, Bobby?
Yeah, I can take care of that for you. Here we go.
There we go. Sorry about that, everyone.
No worries.
Let me come back. Here we go. Am I back?
Yep, you're back. You're all good.
Great. Sorry about that, Adia.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, like, every single time I watch that, no matter what the setting, I'm over here getting chills because of like the intense amount of energy that I know that takes, and the amount of like community that takes to get done. That piece, if anyone would have seen the first time we even did that section, because that's one section of 3. So if you would have seen the first time we did that section, you would be blown away by how far it's come, because people were falling out, people didn't make it, people had to stop in the middle of it. It is the most intense 5 minutes of my life. That piece and the community in the room just to get it done is probably the highest level of community I've ever experienced. That piece trained me for probably any style of dance. It had elements of African dance, modern dance, ballet, contemporary, like it was all of those things in one. We had a group of us were anchors in the piece, so we had to perform it every single night, and interchange between 2 different casts, which was a whole nother experience of like, we would look at each other like, are you ready for this? Like going into war, basically, like, are you ready for this? And, you know, with just like looking on stage, sometimes you get a glimpse of someone else and you look them in the eyes and they like give you the look of like, yes, you can do this, is sometimes what you needed to get through the end of that piece. Working with Bradley was mind-blowing. The things that he like came up with, like he would teach us sections and then like glue them together and be like, what, this is what you were thinking of, like all I have is like chills. It's a euphoric feeling. Yeah, it's amazing.
It was an amazing piece, and you were amazing in it. Adia, and the dancers were fantastic. And yes, I saw it when you first ran it at the beginning of the semester, and what it ended up being on stage was transformative. And even now, a year later, I watch that video and I get chills and goosebumps just watching it. It was an amazing piece. So Bobby, why don't we do some Q&As, and then I have one last little treat at the end.
Excellent, sounds great. So we have a couple questions here. The first one is from Livia. What does the preparation look like for the seniors transitioning into the professional dance world or even into getting a job?
Yes, I'll answer a little bit, and then Adia can add on to that. So, like I said, we have that course called Professional Seminar, which teaches you about the business of dance. One of the strengths and one of the reasons I bring in so many guest artists and so many various choreographers is for networking possibilities. So instead of just going out in the world and doing cold auditions, you actually have met a lot of these choreographers that have companies and are working in the field today, and they get to work with you for an extended period of time. It's usually 2 weeks, about 7 hours a day for 6 days for 2 weeks. So they really get to know you, you really get to know them, and through 4 years, you may work with 10, 12, 15 different choreographers, so you know what's out there, and you know, oh, I really love that person's work, and you can try to gravitate towards their company when you graduate, or I don't really like that person's work, and it's better to find out in school than it is once you're out in the world. So Adia, did you want to add on to anything since you're a senior?
Yeah, I would say that the transition quote unquote happens like pretty soon in your experience at the conservatory. You have residencies, which is like a smaller version of what a residency would look like in a professional company. So you get a taste of what it's like to, have a warm-up class at the beginning of the day, work through some movement, have to work on your own for a while, come back, play with things. Like you get that experience, and honestly, the first time you do it, you're like blown away with how hard it is. And then other than that, like Tommy was saying, our professional seminar class is really just based on for us has been preparing ourselves, branding ourselves, figuring out how to send out cover letters to people, making our website reflect the type of dancer and artist you want to be, creating a reel that is the same thing, reflecting the type of dancer artist you want to be. And then also the transition happens within talking to your faculty. There's so many times where after class I would sit and talk to some of my faculty, and they would give me some of these extra little tidbits on what it really is like to transition into professional dancers. So I'm still transitioning, I'm still learning, and it won't stop until I graduate for me. So.
Thank you, Adia. I think we all transition our whole careers. So just because you get through college and get into the professional world doesn't mean you know everything yet. And it's a lifelong journey. Even at 60 years old and being the dean, I'm still transitioning into this job as well. And my position now, coming from being a performer, then a choreographer, then a teacher, then an administrator, my whole life has been transitioning, but within the dance, in the dance world. So Bobby, do you have another question for us?
Yes, the next one is, I have not had the opportunity to be exposed to modern dance or take classes in modern. However, I do have experience in ballet and contemporary. Would your BFA program still suit someone like me?
Absolutely. So there's a baseline of technique that you need to have for the audition, but that's not the most important thing we look for. We really look for potential, individuality, passion, and spirit in addition to technique. So absolutely, if you've only had primarily ballet, that's fine. A lot of students that come to the conservatory have more experience in ballet than they do modern, and that's why you come, to learn the modern technique.
Awesome. And I'm gonna just have one last question here. If we don't get to your questions today, you can feel free to send them to bcb@berkeley.edu. I just put that in the chat. But our last question here is, How does Boston Conservatory of Berklee differ from other schools? You know, what is sort of the unique selling point of the conservatory?
Sure. Actually, I'd like either Adrian or Adia if you have an answer for that before I say what I think. Adrian?
No one is the same at this school. Everyone is different. And I really appreciate that because as a dancer, you feed from everyone's energy. And since everyone's energy is all different, you have so many places to pick from. It's just awesome. And honestly, the diversity in this program too was really eye-opening to me because at a lot of my auditions, I didn't really see that. But when I came to Boston Conservatory, I did. And yeah, that's what I would have to say.
Thank you. Adia, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, quickly, I would say for me, the most influential thing has been that we're training artists, not just athletes. And that was the biggest, coming from a very technical background, coming into a space where I was asked to think a little bit more was really important. And allowing yourself to find who you are as a dancer, I think was probably the biggest thing for me that seems different than anything I've seen outside of our conservatory.
Thank you. Yes, and I'll just add to that. I know it sounds a little cliche, but we really are a family, and the division is small. We're the smallest division in the conservatory, and I like that because we do know each other, and we care about each other, and we support each other. And the uniqueness of who we bring in is what makes this department special that most other schools don't have. So when we audition students for the division, we really do look for individuality and who you are as a person and as an artist, not just a technician.
Awesome.
Great, thank you. So I want to share my screen one last time for just a little fun thing. This is Ebony Williams, and you may know Ebony Williams. She was the girl on the right in the Single Ladies video, in Beyonce's Single Ladies video. She's a graduate of the conservatory way back. Well, she wouldn't like me saying that, but way back, I was faculty then. I taught Ebony a couple of years, and then she went on to be a founding member of Cedar Lake Contemporary Ballet, and then she went on to dance with Beyonce for several years, and now she's on Broadway in Jagged Little Pills. And she did this little little instructional video that if you have space, you may want to get up and learn a couple of Beyonce steps. So let's watch Beyonce, Ebony.
I am here doing the Beyonce tribute with all of the OGs from Beyonce's bands. I feel like Single Ladies took off because it was something that everybody could relate to. The moves were very clean. It was only 3 of us. And this one gesture right here, everyone can do. So because most of you probably already know Single Ladies, I think it will be fun for me to show you just a little bit of formation. Everyone always wants to know this part. We have I slay, I slay, I slay, I slay, all day, I slay. Hey, you have to focus and you have to believe that you slay. You're ready to attack this step. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And dip it, and dip it. 1, up, look, say up. One more time. So you have 1, 2, and 3. Dip it out, huh, up, huh. Stay here, that's it. Now you can be in formation too.
All right, that's just a little fun way to end this. Thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adia. And thank you, Bobby.
Excellent. Thanks, Tommy. And I'm just going to end it here. I'm going to share my screen one last time. All right, just to talk about some upcoming events that we have at the conservatory. So today, actually later on today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, we will be at the National Performing Arts College Fair at 2 o'clock, as I mentioned. So you're welcome to join that and talk with an admissions representative directly. We also have a series of faculty spotlights coming up. We have one coming up this Thursday with Russell Clark, a faculty spotlight for ballet. And we every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, we have a question hour with the conservatory where you can drop in and ask any questions that you have at any point during the application process. This QR code here will take you to our virtual events page, so definitely check that out for all of our upcoming events. And for any seniors out there, if you have not already, your next steps are to go to berklee.edu/apply and begin your application. You want to submit it by November 1st for early action consideration and December 1st for regular action consideration. And feel free to scan this code for our 360 campus tour, which shows you rehearsal spaces, classrooms, the dining hall, residence halls. Great way to see the conservatory from afar at this time. And again, if there are any additional questions after today's presentation, please feel free to send them to bcb@berklee.edu. That will come directly to my inbox, and I'm happy to help with any of your questions or to schedule a meeting with you. And thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here today. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend and stay safe. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.